In this video, I'm going to break down some of the tourist prices that I paid in Beijing, China. And this is for those who are thinking about visiting soon, or some of you guys who are just curious, like, what are the prices like? But before I do that, let me go ahead and give two disclaimers. One, as I stated earlier, these are tourist prices. So yes, if you're a local, I get it. I'm overpaying for things. I'm paying more than what a person who's from the country and lived here their whole life is paying. Also, if you're an expat, you've been here 6 months, a year or longer, and you learned how not to pay the same prices that first timers pay, congratulations. And last but not least, let me also say that these prices are going to be very basic or of basic things because I'm not a huge consumer. So I don't do a lot of shopping. I'm not buying a ton of gadgets. I'm not really big into the nightlife club scene. So just keep that in mind. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first point. Now, the first cost you're going to have before you get to China is the visa. And as an American citizen, the China visa was $140 for 10 years. Next up, we have the flight. Now, obviously, prices will vary depending on the time of year you're traveling. Is it peak season, low season? How early in advance are you booking the tickets? Where are you flying from? Additionally, which airline you're flying with? What class you're in, first class, business class, economy class, etc., etc. For me, a one-way ticket was $1,300 from San Francisco, California. So I had to fly from San Francisco to Doha, Qatar, and then from Doha to Beijing, China. Some people may say, well, why didn't you fly directly to China? You kind of passed it up and then went back. Well, direct flights are usually more expensive, and the way my bank account's set up, Next up, we have the accommodation. Now, let me start off by saying that in order to get a China visa, you have to have your reservations booked beforehand. So I had to book my hotels way in advance. Also, another thing is that there are many sites like Airbnb and other accommodation sites that I use that don't operate in China. Therefore, I have to use a site called booking.com, which is also a good one that I use a lot. Usually it's Airbnb or booking.com. So it worked out in the end because it works in this country. I booked a super mini studio. It came with a single bed, hot water, AC, Wi-Fi, and the location was top notch. This is one of the main reasons why I chose it. I was right in between the Forbidden City and the Temple of Haven, which are two popular attractions. Next up, we have the SIM card. Now, I went with a company called China Mobile. I was given 100 gigs of internet, 100 minutes, and I don't remember how much messaging they gave me or if it was unlimited. But basically, the most important part for me was the internet. So 100 gigs for 350 yuan, which is roughly $50. Now, I've read online that there are other ways to obtain a SIM card. I forgot how they worded it, but I think you can apply for a SIM card beforehand and either have it delivered to the hotel that you plan on staying in. And so when you arrive and you check in, your SIM card will already be there. Or you can have it delivered to your home country. And I believe it's mailed off from Hong Kong, if I'm not mistaken. Also, they have options for eSIMs. So instead of going to a store and getting a physical SIM card, you can get a digital one where you don't even have to leave your home. I believe if your phone is compatible or has certain software, you can have a digital SIM card. Now let's talk about transportation, getting around Beijing. Let me go ahead and say that I did not use a taxi one time, so you would not see taxi prices. I mainly use public transportation, subways and trains. So when I arrived to the airport in Beijing, which is maybe like an hour out, 30 minutes, depending on the mode of transport you use, but maybe about 30 to 45 minutes out from the city center, I took a train, which was roughly $6, and it took around 20 minutes from the Beijing airport to the city center. And then from there, I just took a subway. For the rest of the trip here in this city, I took subways everywhere. This city is easily connected. I mean, you can go anywhere. It's fast and it's cost effective. China doesn't have Uber, but they have their own version, which is called Didi. I've used this twice. And the only reason why I used it twice is because the subway stopped running. It was when I was doing those nighttime videos. But anyways, I used it twice and both times it was very affordable. One trip, I don't remember the distance, but it was like $2 to $3. And then another trip was pretty far, but it was late at night. And if you know anything about calling an Uber or a ride share late at night, the price is usually jacked up But even still, the total came up to around maybe like $5, $6. And this ride was a little farther. So overall, if you don't want to use the subway, but at the same time, you don't want to take taxis either, you can download the ride-sharing app Didi and use that. For this next point, it's going to be of something we all love, which is food. Now, let me go ahead and preface this by saying that normally when I get to a country, when I find something good, I usually stick to it. So this food point isn't going to be the greatest because I'm not going to have too much to talk about, but I'll try. Right around the area I stayed, there were many what appears to be local shops. And it seems like the breakfast here, at least in this city, consists of noodles and dumplings. A bowl of noodle soup came up to around, I think, $3, $4. And then one time I ordered dumplings with the soup, and the total came up to around, I think, $6. However, this was along the tourist strip, so it may be more affordable if you're in the quote unquote local area, but most of you guys aren't. You're probably gonna be in a hotel or on the tourist strips. Now, when it comes to fancier establishments, like I said earlier, when I find something good, I stick with it. The main meal I was eating was the Peking duck for 88 won, which I forgot what that is in USD. I'll put it up on screen, but I pretty much had this every other day. Apart from these meals, I ordered out. Just like other countries, they have food delivery apps here, and my meals came up to around like $8, $9. If I got fancy, maybe $12, but for the most part, $8, $9, nothing crazy. So food overall is pretty affordable. When it comes to groceries, I can't really give any honest prices because I didn't really go grocery shopping. If I did, I mainly just bought some green grapes and just some juices and snacks. The prices were similar to snacks you'll buy anywhere else. You know, drinks were like maybe $1. Snacks were around $1, maybe 60 cents. There is one thing I want to touch on, and that is the laundry price. Now, I don't know if this is standard all around the city, but boy, oh boy, was it expensive. The last country that had expensive laundry prices like this that I've been to was Jamaica. So I went to this small spot. It looked like they had one washer and they looked pretty busy, which tells me that they're probably a reputable spot. And not only that, they had the prices up on the wall. They charge not by the weight, but per item. And so the first time I washed was like half a load and it came up to $15. And then the second time I went, it came up to roughly $40, like a full load, $40. I could have tried to find another place, but I didn't really find many on the internet. And the ones I did find, they were pretty far. This one was right around the corner, very convenient. So I just said, I'll just bite the bullet. I don't know if that's a common occurrence in Beijing, but those laundry prices were out of this world. And last but not least, after food, obviously, when you come to Beijing, you're going to want to go sightseeing, go on some tours. Now, let me say that so far, the tours in Beijing, China have been the most expensive that I've encountered in probably any other country I've been to. Every tour I booked was over $100. The food tour I went on, where it took me around, tried different snacks, tried the local cuisine, and also got a history lesson as we walked, over $100. I had a private tour to the Great Wall that was over $100, which that one kind of made sense. I had a private driver take me to the less touristy side of the Great Wall, which was around 2 hours out from the city center. So that made sense to pay over $100. And then I had another tour which visited some of the main tourist sites in the city. The Temple of Heaven, the Summer Palace, and also the Forbidden City. That tour I paid over $100 as well. Most people who plan to visit, I'm positive you're probably bringing someone, maybe a family member, friends, co-workers. You might stay at a hostel and meet some people so you guys can group together and go on a tour. If that's the case, then yeah, you're probably not going to spend over $100 like I did. I mainly go on private tours. One main reason is because I film, and some people don't want to be on camera, which kind of makes it hard to shoot a video when you got 5 or 6 people that don't want to be on camera. But all in all, these were the tourist prices that I paid in Beijing, China. As I stated earlier, keep in mind, these are just my prices. You may not pay these. And also, like I stated in the intro, these were going to be basic breakdowns. Because as you notice, I didn't talk about nightclubs and night prices, beer prices, going to the aquariums, etc., etc. But either way, I hope this video has helped some of you guys who are thinking about planning a visit soon or just curious and interested on the prices of things in this city. I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Deuces.